Devotees, welcome to BhagavatSanga program. As you all know, this is our Srimad Bhagavatam program. In this program, devotees read from Srimad Bhagavatam, the prayers, and they present the verses and their realization. Today, we have a very wonderful devotee, Atma Mataji. Mataji will be presenting the verses and her realization. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. First of all, I would like to thank Satadara Prabhu and Jaisumtra Mataji for giving me this opportunity, and also Veena Mataji. I'll start the verse. First, I'll start with the prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udired Nasta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Om Atmana Timurandasya Nananjana Salakaya Chakshur Unmilatam Ena Tasme Sri Guruve Namaha Mugam Karoti Vajalam Pangum Lankayade Girim Yet Kripatam Aham Vande Sri Guru Dinataranam Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Ja Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Nama Pangaja Nabaya Nama Pangaja Maline Nama Pangaja Netraya Namaste Pangaja Angre Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So the important points which I understood from the reading the prayers of Personified Vedas, I just put in the slide. So King Parishit asked Srila Sukadeva Goswami how the Vedas can directly refer to the Supreme Absolute Truth, Brahman, since the Vedas deal with the material realm governed by the three modes of nature, and Brahman is completely transcendental to these modes. So after reading this, I understood Vedas are Shruti Shastras coming directly from God, and it is eternal. And Krishna is the only Supreme Master, and that all the living entities are his eternal servants. And from all Vedic information, it is understood that Krishna is a supreme controller and all living entities are controlled. So purpose of all Veda is free us from all illusions and falsehood, recognize one's higher self and perform the dharma. So one had been given with the proper karma in order to free oneself from cycle of rebirth and death. So the Supreme Personality of a Godhead or Absolute Truth can be understood only by devotional service. So I'll start with the verse. Yosyot Prekshaka Adi Madhya Nidaneyo Vayekta Jiveshwaro Yasrit Vedam Anupras Vishya Rishna Chakre Pura Shastitaha Yam Sampadaya Jahati Ajam Manusai Saptaha Kulayam Yeda Tam Kaivalya Nirasta Yonim Abhayam Dayahed Ajashram Harim. The translation: He is the Lord who eternally watches over this universe, who exists before, during, and after his manifestation. He is the master of both the unmanifested material energy and the spirit soul. After sending forth the creation, he enters within it, accompanying each living entity. There, he creates the material bodies and then remains as a regulator. By surrendering to him, one can escape the embrace of illusion just as a dreaming person forgets his own body. One who wants liberation from fear should constantly meditate upon him, Lord Hare, who is always on the platform of perfection and thus never subject to material birth. So, I wanted to do 41 and 50, but right now I took only 50 verse and I'm elaborating on the 50th verse. So in the 49th verse, King Parishit Maharaj asked how the mind can have access to the absolute truth which is incredible by material world and devoid of material qualities. So in this material world, actually we are usually concerned with two objects. What is this is everything that is related to our gross and subtle bodies and the world at large with all its paraphernalia. So before coming to Krishna consciousness, like my typical day was get up early morning, have a cup of tea and go and read the newspapers. I'll be reading and we're concerned about what is happening outside the world. That is a typical nature of the person. So when we're living this material world, we have a lot of material demands. And right from childhood, we have heard like, okay, if you want to gain this something, you have to worship this demigod or that demigod. So like that way, we have been trained like that, okay, to fulfill our material desires. So what is our spiritual desires that we were not able to giving focus on that? So the materialist way of life differs from the spiritual way of life because one is like it's kind of disobedience, right? Because we know we are the eternal servants of Supreme Lord and we have to love and serve Him, but we are carried away by our materialistic way of life, like we want to fulfill our materialistic desires. So by concentrating one's mind upon Krishna, one is able to know the absolute truth completely, but not otherwise. So there are different type of yogas are only the stepping stone on the path of Krishna consciousness. So by practice of Krishna consciousness with concentration of mind, so one can know everything in full, namely the absolute truth, the living entities, the material nature, and the manifestation with paraphernalia. So it's possible by devotional service, and we all know there are 9 types of devotional services. So in material world, what we are actually doing is a time pass actually. But Krishna has performed a lot of pastimes, but we don't have time to read the pastime of Lord. But we have the time to time pass by focusing on our materialistic desires. So what are the factors which help us in understanding the absolute truth? First is a mercy of the Supreme Lord. Second is our surrender. Then the regulated sadhana or our devotional service. And our sincere desire to serve Lord. Our desire should be very much sincere. It's not for a namesake. Okay, Krishna, I am your devotee right now. So you do this service for me. Like you do that for me. That should not be our attitude. We are the servants of Krishna. Our duty is to serve Krishna. It's not asking service from Krishna. And service which we render to devotees, our spiritual master. And we should have a faith in our Guru and sadhu and shastra. So it's like not by, we cannot think like, oh, this is material world, I can do everything by myself. That we cannot do. With our effort, we are not able to do. It's only the Krishna's mercy that we are able to do all these things. So what should we do for that? Like chant Hare Krishna mantra with faith and complete surrender. So here we can see in this material world, like if somebody falls sick, okay, we have to call 911. The immediately rescue people will come here to save us. So we are also this material whirlpool. So in order to save us from this, first we have to call Krishna. And that is, we have to chant this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So the result, what happens when we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra with sincere attitude, the Krishna forgets everything. Our past sinful reactions, rebellious and envious activities, and only he sees that, okay, this soul wants to come back to me. So he forgets everything and he just comes running to us. For example, in the material world, we can see that the kids sometimes rebel against the parents, right? Sometimes the parents will ask, okay, get out of my house. I don't want to be here. And sometimes the child walks away, but sometimes the father will regret, okay, I told my son like this, okay, I should not have done this. But sometimes the father is also very stubborn. Okay, I don't care what my son does. So, but Krishna is not like that. If we sincerely call him and engage in his services, what he does is he just forgets. We don't know how many million times we had taken birth in this material world, what all species we have been born. We had no idea, and what all mistakes we have done, we don't know. But Krishna knows everything. So he forgets everything and comes running to us. Then what are the facilities Krishna provides us? That is what the purport Srila Prabhupada says. By glancing upon the dominant universe, at the time of sending forth the Jiva souls into creation, the Supreme Lord provides all their necessities. So what are these necessities the Lord provides us? He gives us a free will to live independently. And he created the material world for us. Like we have air, water, shelter, a body, a food. So he did everything for us. And for those living entities who are fruitive workers, he provides the intelligence and senses needed to achieve success in this material work. For those who seek transcendental knowledge, he provides the intelligence by which they can merge into the spiritual effulgence of God, thus attaining liberation. And for the devotees, he provides the understanding that leads them to his pure devotional service. So the Krishna has provided a lot of facilities in this world, right? So that you can do what you want. Then, like if you want to associate with karmis, okay, we have the facilities. You can enjoy with the karmis, go out for a movie, or you can get a good job, like earn money, you can buy a lot of things and accumulate all the material wealth. At least one day we're not going to carry this wealth with us. But still, if you want to associate with karmis, Krishna is giving the indulgence, okay, you do with them. Okay, if you want to associate with the devotees, okay, there I will sending you my representatives, the gurus, sadhus, shastras. Okay, go for it. So in material activity, when we are in the material world, sometimes we can see the big CEOs, some people, most of them are very successful in their life, right? Because it's not because of their intelligence. Krishna is giving them intelligence to succeed. That is why they are they have been successful in their life. So if we want to free us from the suffering of the material world and get liberation, he gives the knowledge of scriptures. He sends association of Vaishnavas. So everything our Supreme Father gives us. So if you commit sinful activities also, Krishna is giving you food. He is giving us shelter. He will forgive you. Example, material world is compared to like a jail. If, for example, in the jail, if we go, like we can see the prisoners, they have to do so much work there. If they will get food, but they have to do so much work. And it's a free food there. They always have to work. They have to earn for the food. But in the material world also, Krishna is providing everything is free. You do everything is created for us so that we have a good life. But he promises one thing: I will never leave you. I accompany you as a Paramatma, and he will always wait for you so that one day you will turn your face towards him. So why are we suffering in this material world? First of all, our desire is not aligning with the will of the Lord. So when we left the Lord thinking that we can be happy by ourselves, but are we really finding the real happiness in the material world? So we can find we're suffering due to some diseases. Sometimes this is age of the Kali. We can see women are not treated well. Lot of the global warming, lot of issues are happening in this world. We're not happy. One problem comes, other problem keeps coming. So we sometimes then we have that illusion. We are thinking we are doing things. We desire something. We plan. We coordinate. Then using our senses like eyes, nose, tongue, hands, like we do whatever we want. But why we are able to do? Because Krishna is sanctioning that. Example, compare with a paralyzed man and a normal person. A normal person will be able to do everything by everything. But can a paralyzed man do this? He needs a supporter, somebody to do the service for him. So everything's done by Lord. Nothing moves without the desire of the Lord. So Lord is not only the control of ourselves, but he's the control of Vayu, the 5 elements and the demigods, everything. So Vedanta Sutra explains the nature of this consciousness. Like Ananda Mayo Bias, the Atma or this conscious force is always seeking pleasure. That is our real nature. And therefore the whole world, all species of life is driven by aspiration for pleasure. The little insects, the birds, the fish, the beasts, and all the human civilization, regardless of caste, regardless of nationality, race, sex, everyone is looking for pleasure. But when our desire actually merges with the Lord's desire, our suffering will turn into happiness, a blissful state, which constitutes that's our real nature. What's our real nature? we are the eternal servants of the Supreme Lord. The Lord is the effective cause of all creation. And in the purport, Srila Prabhupada says, the Lord is the Nimitta Karanam, or effective cause of creation. He is also the Upadana Karanam, the ingredient cause, in as much as everything emanates from him, and he alone is constantly present before, during, and after the manifestation of the created cosmos. So this shows that a Supreme Personality of Godhead was existing before the creation, and when there's nothing, and nor was the material nature the cause of this creation. So after annihilation also, what remains is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Even the Lord Brahma is also the creation of Supreme Lord. So the example of the sun is appropriate here, because the sun in the night, we're not able to see the sun in the night. That doesn't mean sun is not there. But sun is visible wherever it has risen. The sun is not visible with eyes of the inhabitants of a particular part of the earth does not mean that sun has no form. There is sun. And because why we are thinking like that? Because we are living in in illusion, and illusion is embracing us, and we are also embracing illusion. We don't want to come off that example. Like we have a dream in sleep, like we are a multimillionaire or something like that. But when we get up, the dream is a dream. It's not real. So material world is also like a temporary. It's not real. And what is the cause of illusion? That is a false identification of one's material body. So we are thinking we are the controller, we are the maintainer. So we think like, my house, my family, my property, my bank balance. So everything's under my control. But this nothing is on our control. Because Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, a lot of references are there in Bhagavad Gita where Krishna is saying, I am a fire of digestion, every living body, and I am the air of life, outgoing and incoming, by which I digest the 4 kinds of food stuff. So we are also eating food every day. We are cooking food, we are eating food. Are we digesting by ourselves? No, right? There is some force is there helping us to digest the food we eat in. For example, it's said that each year, 62 million Americans are diagnosed with digestive disorder. The incidence and prevalence of most digestive diseases increases with age. Other exceptions include hemorrhoid, inflammatory bowel disease, and chronic liver disease, which occur mostly commonly among young and middle-aged adults. So then Krishna always says that from him comes the remembrance, knowledge, forgetfulness. For example, like for exam time, we all study very well, but when we go to the exam room, sometimes we forget everything. And sometimes we'll pray, oh my God, how come this happened? And we'll pray to God that time. And sometimes, okay, then we'll remember things. And a lot of references, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that he's a creator, controller, maintainer. He's omnipresent, he's present everywhere. He is the greatest, and he knows the past, present, and future. And there's and in Bhagavad Gita 9:4, Krishna is telling there's only one God. Those who are devotees of other God and who worship them with faith actually worship only me. That means if we are worshipping the demigods also, Krishna is the one who sanctions that. Then who son of Kunti, but they do so in a wrong way. I am the only enjoyer and master of all sacrifices. Therefore, those who do not recognize my true transcendental nature will fall down. Then how can we come out of illusion? So the purpose Srila Prabhupada says, until he chooses to accept the mercy of Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Jiva soul is anusayi. That means he is bound up in the embrace of illusion. When he turns to the Lord's worship, he becomes anusayi in different sense, like fallen like a rod to obeisance at the Lord's feet. By that surrender, the soul easily casts illusion aside. Even though the liberated soul may still seem to be living in a material body, the connection he has with is only an external appearance. He pays no more regard to it, and a sleeping man pays to his body while busy engaged far, far away in a dream world. So Prabhupada says in the verse, Jiva soul anusa means that as I said earlier, we are living in a world of illusion. So to come out of this, one should be attached to the root of everything rather than bewildered by the branches and leaves, because the root is the Krishna. Like if we take a tree, we water the root, everything is nourished, the branches, leaves, etc. So if we are worshipping Krishna, all the demigods are satisfied. And only thing, 2 things we need is we had to be surrounded to Krishna, and by Lord's mercy comes through devotees. Krishna sends us represented the gurus, and we have scriptures, we have prasadam. So the only thing we have to assimilate it. For example, in a classroom, you see like a class teacher, a class of 45 students is there. The teacher is giving class to everyone equally, but some kids are attentive and some kids they'll be sleeping, some kids will be talking. But the kid who is serious in his studies, like he will keep asking questions to teacher, clarify his doubt, automatically wrapped, a corrections attached with the teacher and the student. So we have to practice whatever Guru Maharajas, our history gurus are teaching. We have to practice that. So automatically we have that connection established with the Guru, from Guru to Krishna. That that should be our goal. Then proof that Lord is merciful. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada says, in the words of Sri Bhishma Deva, Yam Iha Nirikshya Hada Gata Sorupam, those who simply saw Krishna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra attained the original form after being killed. And even demigods like Aga, Baka, and Keshi were liberated by Lord Krishna without having performed any spiritual practices. So these demons, they did not do any tapasya or regulation or sadhana like chanting, Hare Krishna mantra, eating prasadam. They didn't do nothing. Just because the Lord saw them, the Lord chose to touch them and kill them, they were given ultimate liberation in Goloka Vrindavana. For example, the Kamsa sent the whirlwind demon Trinavarta to finish the Lord Krishna. Because everyone's eyes became covered within a few moments, but the whole area of Vrindavana became clear intensely so that no one could see himself or anyone else. So Krishna, like he was saving everybody from the negative energy, like negative forces. So even though we are sinful, even though we are rebel against Krishna, our past karmas or billion birth are not good, still is giving us opportunity to connect with him. When we connect with him, he pulls us to save him and save us from illusion. And Krishna is so fond of his devotees, like he will do anything for them. For example, Krishna and Arjuna, nowadays we have a GPS, like we can travel anywhere. So when the battle was going on, Kurukshetra was going on, so Krishna was the chariot of Arjuna. So Krishna used to ask, Arjuna used to ask Krishna, Krishna, go there, go forward, go left, go right. Like most of the time he will be kicking Krishna with his feet. But Krishna tolerated everything. Because why? Because he loves his devotee so much. He's willing to take all the pains. Like that's what Krishna was doing. So what is our duty? That is chanting Hare Krishna mantra sincerely. So the important factor of Hare Krishna mantra is like the Vedic mantra should be pronounced correctly. Otherwise, we have that negative effect. But the Hare Krishna mantra is so transcendental, it does not come under this Vedic rule. For example, for Hare Krishna, the Chinese, they cannot pronounce R. So they say Hare Krishna. And Bengalis, sometimes the A pronunciation is different there. So they call Hare Krishna. And Russians say Hare Krishna. And for example, even from the scriptures, it says Valmiki, when Valmiki was a hunter in the hunter, and when due to Narada Muni's mercy, he got opportunity to chant Rama. So, but he was not able to pronounce Rama. So what he was doing is he was doing Mara, Para. But after sincere practice, he was able to pronounce Rama clearly. So even from references, it's Chaitanya Charitamrita Ante Leela, it is said that the letters of the holy name have so much spiritual potency that they can, even when uttered improperly, also we have a positive effect. If a devotee once utters the holy name of Lord, or if he penetrates his mind or enters his ear, which is a channel of oral reception, the holy name will certainly deliver him from material bondage, whether vibrated improperly or improperly with incorrect grammar, or properly joined or vibrated in a separate parts. For Brahmana, the potency of the holy name is therefore certainly great. However, if one uses the vibration of holy name for the benefit of material body, for material wealth, and followers, or under the influence of greed or atheism, in other words, if one utters a name with offenses, that chanting will not produce the desired result very soon. Therefore, one should diligently avoid offenses in chanting the holy name of the Lord. So we had to be very careful, like, those people are not chanting, since means like, Chinese are chanting Hare Krishna means, oh, let me also chant like that. No, because they are not able to chant properly. That's why they're doing. But Krishna understands that. It's like a mother, like a child and mother example. Like a child will call Amma or like Mom, Mama. but the mother knows that the child is calling him. And Krishna also knows that okay, this my devotee, he cannot pronounce clearly my name, but still he is like calling my name only. So Krishna will forgive that, but he will always be at this, always take care of that devotee only. But that doesn't mean that we should purposefully do some mistake. No, that should not be avoid. And the best time Maya catches you is when we chant. Like some distraction will happen. Either your mind will wander, or like what the cell phone will ring. You'll be motivated to see who had called me, or who had messaged me. So at that time, that is the snare of Maya. That we had to be very careful. We had to be very focused on our chanting, and so that's the time when Lord is present. When we chant the Krishna's name, and Krishna name is the same. It's like he'll be there, present there. So that should be our aim. So association with devotees, sadhus, and shastra, read scriptures and do serve sincerely, not for the sake of doing. So that we should always keep in mind. We are all a servants of Krishna. Our service is make Krishna happy. So everybody should have that that thing in mind, our heart, like okay, what can we do to make Krishna happy? That should be our goal. Always bow down in front of the Krishna altar, then give up the pride, that ego. Then always be humble. We have to shed the ego. Be always self-introspect. Okay, am I doing right? Where did I make a mistake? We all are human beings. We all make mistakes sometimes, but we should always have the we have to rectify ourselves, and we all have to move forward in the spiritual life. So we have to we have to take the help from our gurus, then our Shiksha gurus, etc. If we are like stuck somewhere and all, they are the right person to guide us. And the holy name of Lord Hari should always be stand in great humility. That's one good thing. Like we have to think about that one should think oneself to be lower than a blade of grass, and one should be tolerant as a tree. One must offer all honor to others, and one should never expect any honor for oneself. That is the key part. And this is the ornament devotee had to wear on his neck. Eventually, will help him lead a good spiritual life. Then the prayers of Srila Vishnu Chakravarti says, final part of purport, it says, like Sarva Shruti Siro Ratna, Nirajita Padma Bhujam, Bhoga Yoga Pradam Vande, Madhavam Karmi Nam Raya. With their effulgence, the crest jewels among all the Shrutis offer Arati to lotus feet of Lord Madhava. I pay homage to him, who bestows a material enjoyment honored by material workers, and who also grants a divine connection with him, prized by those who bow down to him with reverence. Even Srila Chakravarti Thakura also offers a humble prayer, like he says, like, hey Bhakta Dori Ayam Chanchat, Valadi Rauti Vo Manak, Prasadam Labadam Yasmat, Visitaha Seva Nathati. O devotees, this poor creature standing at your doorway, waving his tail and barking, please let him have little prasadam, so that he may be exceptional among dogs and get the best of master as his owner. Here the Acharya makes a pun of his own name, Vishishta, exceptional, and swear like a dog, Nathati, having a master. That is the perfection of a Vaishnava humility. Then the story of surrendering to a guru. So one of the lecture which I was just hearing that Prabhu was talking about old Vrajavasi Mataji in Vrindavan. Her name was Ma Shanti Devi, and her husband was Babulal Sharma, who was a priest of the Bangi Bihari temple in Vrindavan. So when Babu, this story happened like before the British rule, like a long time, like it was like the kings were ruling India that time. So one of the king, he used to come and visit the Bangi Bihari temple, and then they needed a priest to take care of the temple. So one time and Babulal Sharma was a very devoted person, and so the king approached Babulal Sharma and asked him, okay, you have to come and do puja in this Bangi Bihari. You have to be the head priest for the Bangi Bihari temple. So then and that time he was like a very young age, and so then he said, okay, I will come. Then he said, okay, I have to take him to a guru, so that you have to take initiation, and you have to go to the temple, and you have to be the priest. So he went and took initiation from a guru, and then the guru told him, you have to collect flowers and make garland, and then you have to offer to Krishna. That should be the first service. So you should not break that service. So he was doing that for years and years. And finally, what happened is the British rule came. and all the kings lost their power. And so then at that time the priests were paid by the kings, but when the Britishers came, the kings were not able to pay the priests. So and a lot of the other devotees who were employees of that temple, they all went away. But this Babula Sharma was working there without any salary. So then he continued his service like that way. And finally, what happened is he passed away one time, and then his wife was alone, and she was not working. The Mataji was not working, and so one time, she had a dream, she saw one effulgent person was standing in the Vrindavan near the river, and then like a lot of foreigners were dancing there. So then after some time, it happened is a lot of Scottish devotees came there. And then they like that. Then one time, then she had a dream, airplane coming. Plane means like in the dream, like a celestial plane coming, and one young girl coming out of it. And then there was some voice coming that she will take care of you. So then one time what happened is when the Scottish devotees came, then there's one Mataji. Then she said I want to take care of you. So this Mataji was not happy. Is a white person coming. She doesn't know whether to trust her or not. But this Mataji used to come and serve her every day. She will come morning. She will take care of this Mataji and she will go. Like that, we continued that. And finally, what happened is she got the trust in her. So she said, okay, you stay with me and you take care of me till my death. So then this Mataji was telling this Prabhu, see, I never worked in my life. My husband was taking care of me. And since my husband was surrendered to his guru, surrendered to his guru, and he was taking care of whatever instructions is given to him. Because of that, Krishna took care of me till the end. Like Krishna never leaves his devotees. So the moral of the story is the Guru is the ocean of mercy. It's like we all learn from scriptures a lot, Nityananda, how we say Jagai Mother Narada Muni. Like so much examples are there. So Guru impart upon his disciples like bhakti and prem to love Krishna, and finally to achieve lotus fate. And Guru can turn a dumb person into an eloquent speaker, enable a lame person to cross mountains, make a seed of bhakti grow in the barren land of the heart of the jiva suffering from the disease of material contamination. By making the heart of such divinities fertile, by nourishing them with Krishna Katha. So one who pleases the spiritual master, which serves is blessed by the spiritual master with the highest benediction. That's the pure love of God. Therefore, it is necessary for a living entity desiring to attain ultimate goal of life to take complete shelter of the pure devotee of the Lord and please him with service. For he shall then bestow upon the devotee Krishna Prema. Radharani is so merciful. He if we are sincere, Radharani herself will recommend ourselves to Krishna, asking us to please save this soul. So that is the power of devotional service. So thank you so much. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Please forgive me if I have done any mistake in my presentation. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. That was such a beautiful presentation, very beautiful, and the story that you just narrated is so beautiful. And very nicely you started the important points. And I really like some of the points you said about how you related 911 call to chanting. I think chanting is even better, but then it was a very nice correlation, right? So that was beautiful. And how you said Krishna, we think we are doing, but it's all Krishna who's doing. And beautifully you took the purport, took up the essential points and covered in depth those points and gave realization. So wonderful. Thank you so much, Mataji. Sorry, devotees, we went extra time. With that, thank you all devotees for joining the BhagavatSanga program today. We will see you all next